Hello, and welcome to the Fat Squirrel Speaks. Today is Monday, June 3rd. This episode 66, maybe? I don't know. Hi! I'm Emma Beth, also known as the Fat Squirrel, on Ravelry and Flirk, and the Fat Squirrel, the Fat SQRRL, on Twitter and Instagram. By the way, I love Instagram. What's up with that? I love it! It's like all the funness of Twitter without all the reading. I'm not even kidding you. Nice pants! Oh, this is nice. Hi, how are you? I'm doing well. My hair is very flunky. Whatever. I would like to say thank yous. Thank you, Debbie. She donated her real live, hard-earned money to the podcast. I would like to say thank you to Erin of Bling Your String, because she is super generous. Her face is literally so generous it probably hurts her. It doesn't hurt me because she's beautiful, but it probably hurts her a little bit because her face is so generous. It's like, ow. I'm not even kidding you. Because not only did I get my last club shipment, she donated a pouch of the month membership subscription to me, and then one for a prize. But then she also sent 2 extra prizes for the orange cow. Let me just discuss. I've got to take pictures of the orange prizes. I'm so sorry. I'm basically, in general, I'm a huge fail this month. I don't know what is wrong with me. I feel like it's the impending summer, the reality that I'm gonna have my little one. Like, this sounds so terrible. But the reality that I'm gonna have my little one full time again. How did I do them for like 5 years? I didn't do it for 5 years. Because I worked full time outside the home, but between camping, which always, it's a whole thing, and then like I'm having some slight hip problems. I know. Could I be the oldest? My bursitis is acting up. Could I be the oldest lady ever? Whatever, it's true. Like, and then the knowing that my daughter has like a few days left of school. Between all those things, I'm just like, I can't get everything done. I don't do anything. It's like that. You know what I mean? It's analysis paralysis of my to-do list is basically what it is. But I don't know how I got started on that tangent. But Erin of Bling Your String, she doesn't have analysis paralysis. She's just busted it out. Oh, because I was supposed to take pictures of the orange cow. Oh, I'm such a fail this month. Like it's anything unusual. It's true. She sent you some excellent prizes. So I gotta take pictures of all the prizes. I must do that. I had my husband call me to remind me to take out the garbage because he's not here this week. So maybe I should have him call me to remind me to do things I'm like supposed to do that I don't want to do because I'm lazy. But look at the prizes she sent you. I'm not gonna take them out of their bags. You know the project pouches, right? They look like this. This is one of my club shipments. So she sent you fun citrus time, and of course, she always does matching stitch markers. Thank you, Erin, because by the way, you have like totally stocked my stitch markers right up. But she sent you lovely stitch markers on there. Of course, it's Erin from Bling Your String. And she sent you this one. I know, right? You guys are so lucky. You have like 5,000 project bags you could win, and a few skeins of yarn. The orange cow is awesome. And she also sent you, that's mine. She also sent you festive bead leftover stitch markers. These are like all the beads she had that are smidgels and smodgels that were pinksies and orangesies. They're much orangey in real life. They look kind of pink there. But she sent you those too. Thank you, Erin. So those are all for you. Those are the thank yous. Orange Cow runs to the end of June. I will draw for prizes the last Monday in June. Is that right? That's right? I keep saying that? Yes, the last Monday in June, I will close the thread and draw for prizes. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, yes, we have no shenanigans. We have no shenanigans today. It's true. It's been a shenanigan this week. Maybe I should have picked a word that's not such a tongue tire. Whatever. It's been a very chill week, but I've enjoyed it nonetheless, even though I'm not getting as much done as I should be. But I will say that my shenanigans of the mind have included, I am currently reading AWOL, which is, I think, by David Cross. That's an actor. That's not, is that his real name? David Miller. It's a little bit off. Anyway, AWOL on the Appalachian Trail by David Miller. And it is a chronicle of his through hike, which, if you don't know about the Appalachian Trail, it runs from Georgia to New Hampshire, right? I think I did that right. And he's doing a through hike. So it's, I love it because I am an Appalachian Trail dork. Full on dork. You don't know it from looking at me. But I have an obsession with through hikers of the Appalachian Trail. Maybe not an obsession. That may be a strong word. But I am very intrigued by the thought. As I was reading it, I was all talking to my husband. I'm like, oh, I hope you know that when our child is like 13 or 14 and she's able to actually walk long distances, I think we all need to through hike as a family. And he's like, you need to stop smoking so much crack. And I'm like, I know, right? Because, but I totally want to do it. Wouldn't it be awesome? When I got laid off from my former job, actually before I got laid off, but my fantasy was that I was going to quit my job. I had a kid. This was totally not going to happen. I had this fantasy that I was going to quit my job and hike the Appalachian Trail and write a book about it. I can't write 5 sentences without being completely neurotic about them, so I can that's one of the reasons I'm so bad at answering emails, by the way. I am like a neurotic self-editor. I'm crazy. Like this, you're like, what? You are the worst because you do this show. The only way I can do this show is that there's no editing. And I understand that it's going to be, and I'm not going to judge myself. But for some reason, writing things is not, I can't allow myself that freedom. I just can't. I don't know why, but I can't do it. So, like, yes, clearly, not only is my fat behind going to hike the Appalachian Trail, but also I'm going to write a book about it when I can't write 5 sentences in an email response without being, like, literally sick to my stomach. Makes perfect sense, right? Whatever, I'm crazy. But anyway, I am very much enjoying it. Do I recommend it? It's a $4.99 Kindle book. I think it's $4.99 worth. It's not the best. It's definitely not the best book on the Appalachian Trail. By far, Bill Bryson's A Walk in the Woods. Psh, in a completely different universe of awesome. Completely different. This is very much... It's very brief. Like, it's... Yeah, it's very brief. Like, it just is very... It's very snippety. Like, he wrote a bunch of... It may just be, like, an amalgamation of his blog. Because as he was hiking, he was doing blog posts for, like, journalistic endeavors. So perhaps that's what it is. It's just, I don't know. Now that I say that, that may be why it's like that. It may just be like a combination of all of his blog posts, because that's what it feels like. I always want more. Like, I want more of the story constantly. So it's not the greatest, but it's enough. It's a fix. It's a fix. If you're really into the Appalachian Trail. And again, it's $4.99. It's not too bad. So I'm enjoying that. That's the shenanigans of my mind. Now let's get on to fibery shenanigans, shall we? Oh, brief apology. I did say that I would be at the Hoosier Hills Fiber Festival. I wasn't there. I know, right? I really wanted to go, but I had so much to do. I didn't get to go. Plus, let's face it, I don't need to buy any more fiber. I might be a little bit crazy. Maybe I should spend more before I buy anything else. Okay? Okay. Maybe not. So that was really the deciding factor. Like, it was rainy, which that's fine. For some reason, it's always rainy that weekend. I've been 3 times, and it's been rainy. Okay, that's not true. This would have been the 3rd time I'd gone. The other 2 times, it was rainy the weekend I went to. I don't know what that's about. But it's like not even that far away, but I was just like, I'm just going to go and spend dollars. Maybe I should not do that. So I didn't. But then that Malia and that Joanna, they had fried pies. Of course they did. I would never begrudge anybody their fried pie, but I am jealous of their fried pies. But on to Fibery Shenanigans. Let me for my Fibery Shenanigans and then a brief shameless self-promotion at the end. Finished objects. I have a spinning finished object. Last week, I don't know if you recall, or maybe you were watching. I don't know, whatever. No judgments. I was spinning some 100% BFL from the lovely Sadie Blue Ruin of the Yarnivore podcast, who now has her own shop because she's so fancy. It's true. Her shop is Knitter's Nightmare, and it actually opens, when you see this, it'll be open so you can go buy stuff. And she's going to do yarn. She's like self-stripey. She's all about self-stripey sock, which I have some of that to show you too. She's self-stripey, and then she'll do fiber. I think that's what she's supposed to do. She's supposed to alternate weeks. So the first week is self-stripey. The second week will be fiber, from what I understand. She is Knitter's Nightmare. Whoa. And I spun her Bump in the Night 100% BFL Sunset on Gallifrey. And of course, this was sent to me by Sadie because she's awesome. And here it is. She sells her fiber in smaller bumps. I think they're supposed to be like 2 ounces. Mine was 2.8 ounces. I don't know if that was just luck of the draw or because I'm so awesome that she sent me extra. Maybe that was it. Anyway, so this was it. It is like a rusty orange interspersed with like a very light sky, but tealy blue, and lots of white in between, so they get all blendy and lovely. And it was lovely to spin. I got 280 yards out of 2.8 ounces on my Ladybug. Yeah, it was totally enjoyable. I showed you how free it was last time, right? I totally did. And it was great. I enjoy it quite a bit. Yay, Sadie! She's awesome, but you knew that. Oh, now see, I've been so clever. I was trying to be clever and add little tags to show me how much yardage I got so that I don't have to keep counting these things. But then I messed up in my... that was not a very good application because now I had to find the middle of that again. Whatever. It's okay. I still need to do that because it's getting crazy. So that was lovely and very pleasant. Knitting works in progress. Knitting finished objects. Do I have knitting finished objects? Kind of. I was sent the Handmade in the UK by Tin Can Knits. And of course, you've heard all about it, right? She gifted me her ebook. And she did say that if I wanted to review it, but I have to be honest with you, there's so many good reviews that I feel like I don't need to muddy the waters any further. Diane did a lovely review of Knittables. The Knit Girls did a lovely review. And the Stockinette Zombies did a lovely review. And there's probably even more that I just haven't gotten caught up yet. So there's so many good reviews out there. You should definitely go check them out. She did give me a copy, and I have already started knitting from it. Because it's very lovely. And I had to. So I won't do a review, but I will talk about what I'm knitting, because obviously that's what I do. So the first thing I'm going to show you, this is going to create a conundrum because I am knitting 2 things from the book. Okay, this is page 32. Remember page 32. 32. So like I've heard everybody else who reviewed the book, was completely entranced by the flippin' blanket. You know it. That blanket. Let's see. Oh, that blanket. The Vivid. This sample is knit in, I believe, in the Jared Flood fingering weight, which is whatever that one is. I can't remember. Oh no, it's Jamieson and Smith jumper weight. So the sample is knit in jumper weight, and Jamieson Smith, excuse me, which we all know and love. Worstedy spun goodness. Sorry, my thing just yelled at us. I have been wanting to knit a worsted wool. Well, worsted, yes. But a woolen spun worsted weight wool blanket for just about forever now. Like, I've really been wanting to knit one. I don't have any wool blankets. I've never done them because it's very cost prohibitive. But I love the scrappy sock blankets, but I know that I cannot make a scrappy worsted weight blanket because all of my worsted weight is too many different styles. Like, it will actually bother me because, for one thing, the worsted weight squares are much bigger. And it will very much bother me if there's like a very smooth like Cascade 220 next to like a woolen spun, for example, like a Blackwater Abbey or a Beaverslide Dry Goods or a Peace Fleece. Like, that will actually trip me out. Like, it will. And I think because the squares are bigger too, like, it's the little ones, it doesn't seem to bother me, but the big ones, I think it's going to bother me. I have to admit that. So, I may have decided that I wanted to make a worsted weight Peace Fleece blanket. I've not bought all the yarn yet because I'm still trying to decide on a color scheme. Originally, I decided I was going to knit all different colors, just like, give me one skein of everything, please, Peace Fleece. And then they would be like, okay, weirdo. But I think what I'm going to actually do is maybe go for more of a family, because some of their colors are very, like the orange I made my sweater with is like, and I'm afraid like that will mess me up too. And plus, again, it's a worsted weight blanket. It's not going to need like 5,000 squares. It's like not that many. I don't know how many. My first one. Right, shut up, right. There it is. This is Peace Fleece in their Wild Mustard colorway. I love it. So this I knit on size US 4s. Now you're like, 4s for a worsted weight. What? I always go down 2 needle sizes. So, and this is actually technically an Aran. But I also wanted it to be dense. I didn't want it to be all stretchy, floppy. And because I knew the squares were going to get bigger, so there weren't going to be as many seams to hold them in. And I wanted it to be more dense. And I totally like it. Oh! So now the decision is, do I do lots of different colors or do I just do this color and gray? Wouldn't that be pretty? But then I could also do like this color and then all the beautiful browns and the dark musty greens. That would be pretty too, right? I need to make 75 of these blankets. So yeah, I dig it. And that is a square. Mine is 9 inches. I did not block it out like way hard. I just kind of, laid it flat. I didn't pin it or anything. But I like it. So I have to decide what to do because I really want to make those. And I did this just like in an evening. It's super, I won't say it's super fast, but it's pretty darn fast. I think the whole thing is only like 27 rows or something like that. So it's pretty doable. Would I be able to memorize the pattern? Maybe not. But it's not hard to look at it either. Does that make sense? So I dig that. And I did like the way the pattern was written. It was very clear. And like she does like, and again, I think you've seen this on other, but she also gives you ideas for color layouts, which I think is awesome and helpful and wonderful and lovely. And I love her hand-drawn illustrations. They make me so happy because not only are they helpful, but I just like them aesthetically. What else did I want to say? Yeah, that was all I want to say about that. Of course, it's written for, she gives you the yardage you would need for 3 different weights. So that's always helpful. I don't know, what do you think? Wouldn't it be so cute? Just like a Peace Fleece, lovely blanket of loveliness. I don't know why I'm into squares so much lately. I want to make everything a granny square. I want to make everything. I clearly need to make a linen granny square short sleeve sweater. What is that? It's in my head. I can't stop thinking about it. Yay! Those are all my finished objects. Works in progress. I have some spinning, but I'm not going to show you my bobbin because it's like this much. But just so you know who I'm playing. End of the world. It's the Lavinia colorway because I am spinning along with the Knitables. With her spin along. into the world. Are you playing? Let's all play together. It's gorgeous. It's ridiculously pretty. I'm doing the superwash merino. I think there was also a merino silk. It's lovely. Of course, what everybody says is true. It's all fluffy and happy and good and beautiful colors, nicely saturated, but with like light parts too. I like that. I tend to gravitate towards very saturated colors, but the light bits really make the spinning look very pretty, and they add sort of a shimmer almost to it sometimes, which is one of the things that's pretty about Sadie's. So she does a beautiful blend of the saturated. She's lots of, not only are there color variations, but there's a lot of nice tonal and depth variations within those colors. Pretty. Knitting works in progress. Let's show you things you've already seen. For the orange cow, I'm knitting the Bellevue cardigan, and that is by the lovely Work, Spiffy Screen, work! Why aren't you working? Sorry. Laura Chow. Is there a better picture? It's not the best picture. I guess that's it. Sorry, I didn't mean to draw on you, Laura. Not that she watches this show. I actually drew on her, though. So it is a fingering weight cropped cardigan. And I am knitting mine with not Peace Fleece. Quince & Company Finch in the Sturgeon colorway. I love it. I'm knitting mine on US 4s. And I have added the sleeves in. Yay! I am knitting at a looser gauge than is suggested by the pattern. I think the pattern is like 6 inches the inch and mine's 5. Because again, I want it to be very summery and light. I have some bust darts in there, a la Amy Herzog, her book from Knit to Flatter. I did not do as advanced a bust dart as I probably should have. I just didn't. I didn't have enough room because of the lace. Because I did a bigger gauge, the lace took up more room, and all of a sudden I was like, oh crud, I only have like 3 inches left before I need to cast off for there or do the armhole business. So I didn't do as much bust dartage as I probably should have. But you know what? Baby steps, right? I'll see how this works, which I think is going to work great. And I'm sure it'll inspire me to do better next time. Excuse me. The only thing I did different, which now I wish I hadn't, but I don't know, for some reason at the moment it seemed brilliant. Well, not brilliant, but it seemed like a thing to do. You see down here on the lace pattern, it has this bump, a pearl ridge bump. For some reason, I felt like I didn't want to do that on the sleeves because I have gigantic Midwestern corn-fed arms of giganticness, and I don't need to have any more attention drawn to them than is absolutely necessary. So for some reason, I was like, I'm not going to put that ridge on there because that'll create a horizontal, and now I'm afraid it's going to look stupid because it's close enough to that. Whatever. It is what it is. I did the same thing on both, so at least it's not wonky. So I've just joined those for the yoke, and there you go. I'm enjoying this knit very much. You knit to the armpit, then you knit the sleeves, then you whoop it all together. Whoop, whoop. Like that. The next thing that you have seen, finger string, is my Simple Skype sock. Simple Skype sock is by Adrienne Koo. This is the first one. I'm knitting mine in Query Fibers. This is her sparkle base. And this is the Fireworks colorway. So this is sock number 1. These are for my mamaw who wanted crazy colored socks. And I just started number 2 this week. The first one was already done. And then this is the second one, which I'm done now with the gusset, and I am just onto the foot. So you will not see these again, I hope, because I need to get them in the mail pronto for her birthday. So it's kind of going to be late. Sorry, Mabel. But yeah, so I've enjoyed it very much. Again, I think I said this earlier. Does the funny little Skype pattern really show up so much on this super variegated yarn? Not really, but it's so much, it just keeps you going. So helpful for that. So yay! And not too much purling in a sock because I don't like to do that. And I'm knitting those on zeros. And Chow Goose. I like those needles quite a lot. My gauge is not nearly tight enough on them. I don't think it mattered for my mamaw too much because she's not going to be real hard on her socks. I'll be lucky if she actually wears them because she loves to do that. She get her for something pretty and she puts it away. God bless her. Gotta love her. Okay, I'll talk about this. So this is my this month's subscription for the Bling Your String Project Patch of the Month Club. And I got lovely stitch markers, which I'm using on my cardigan. My Bellevue cardigan. Did I? Oh yeah, here's some. Here's the ones that are left. So just lovely brown and a cute little coffee bean. Yay! I don't have it turned right, so you can't see the seam. That's not helpful, is it? I'm still doing it wrong. So much wrongness is happening. I literally can't make it happen. Maybe that will help. Yes. Okay, there we go. So thank you, Erin. And this is my yarn from Sadie of Knitter's Nightmare. This is her tentacle face sock, which is an 80-10-10 superwash merino cashmere nylon in the Mother Hydra colorway. I'm a Cancer. I'm a total Mother Hydra. That's right. So she sends it to you in the cake. Cake, anyone? Why, thank you. I think I will. And I'm not making socks. I have socks on the needles, and I need to get those off the needles before I can cast anything on, but I wanted to cast this on because Sadie sent it to me, and her shop is opening, so yay her! So I needed to get that happening. Also, cashmere on my feet does not work as well. I have angry feet. They don't like cashmere. They make it all flurfy and sad. So I am instead going to knit the Frankenfingers, which is a pay for pattern. See those? So I think it'll be great in this color. I'm so excited. I love fingerless mitts, but I really like the half fingers the best because they stay on my hands better. I have to do much less fussily fidgeting with them. Like the ones that are completely fingerless, I'm constantly like mushing them down. I have a pair of like Nux and they work really well. So I'm assuming this will work just as best. Except it's made of sock yarn. And this pattern is by Elizabeth Green Musselman, something like that. And it comes in a child large size and then an adult small, adult large. So it's two sizes, I'm sorry. The child large, adult small are the same size. Then there's an adult large. And they both take less than 100 grams. Depending on how long you make them, I guess. So yay that. So here it is so far. You can see that it is a lovely gray, a lovely night. It's not really navy because it's brighter than that. And then a lovely like foresty green, huntery green. So this is going to be pretty. I'm knitting them on size zeros. These are the carbons, the circulars, as you can see, obviously. I am knitting socks on double points. I like the double points more than the circulars in terms of like, the circulars seem to have a little bit more, the joint is just not as smooth. But not knitting socks and instead knitting these mitts, I'm not knitting my gauges tightly, and so it's not bothering me, is what I'm trying to say, in a very roundabout way. Really? Would I choose these? No. I probably will not buy another pair of the Carbons double points. I just really like the ChiaoGoo's, so I don't really care to buy these. I do like the double points in terms that they are offered in a 00, but I learned from watching my friend Malia's podcast, Yarn Raising, that Hiya makes 00s in a fixed circular. So I ordered a pair of those. I'm very excited because I like the fabric I'm getting from the 00s, but I don't like knitting on double points. I'm not getting ladders or anything. It just seems like it's way slower to me. Like, I think it's taking me forever to knit those stinking stripy socks I showed you that I have from the yarn that was gifted to me from... I can't even talk. But those socks I've had on the needles forever since the night knitting pipeliner retreat. It just seems like it's taking forever to knit those. Now, it's partly because like the little socks I made for my grandmother's like a 56 stitch sock and 56 stitch sock, and mine are like a 72 stitch sock. So partly it's just because there's more stitches, but I think it also adds that there are the double points instead of the... Because again, to me, like when I do a double point, so there's 4 double points, I have to stop 4 times in a row. Whereas I'm knitting Magic Loop, I only stop twice in a row. And it just seems like it goes much faster. Maybe it's just my head, but I think it's true also. Oh, also these are more than your normal sock. So your socks, when you make it with Sadie's yarn, will be fatter stripes because this is a bigger circumference than a typical sock circumference. Unless you have gigantor feet, like gigantor than mine. It's pretty impressive. So your stripes will be fatter on a sock. Oh, and then there's extras too, which I forgot to show you. From Erin of Bling Your String. She sends you extras every time. I mean, the extras have been crazy nice. I mean, like ridiculously nice. There was like a notebook with posties in it, which makes me so happy. And she personalized so many of them. Like she would have stamped on there the Fat Squirrel or A Beth or whatever you wanted. So there's, see, look at this. Personalized. This is the Fat Squirrel. Oh, my little stitch marker. And it's like a little one that you can lock in. So you can either use it as a regular one or you can snook it in there. For stitch. And then she sent you this hook that she made for fixing your drop stitches. So you can have that handy pandy. Right? She's so cute. One time she sent like an actual stitch marker holder that was like, it had the Fat Squirrel stamp on it. She's all about the personalization. So fancy. Everybody's doing such great stuff. Yay, Sadie. Did I say? Yeah, I said tentacle face. She's so cute. Okay, and then the last work in progress is also from the Tin Can Knits. What page did I tell you to remember? Do you remember what page I told you? Oh no, I made it sad. Oh, here it goes. Handmade in the UK. It was page 32. I hope you remembered. Otherwise, I'm upset with you. But I am knitting the estuary shawl. It's so pretty. There it is. In all of its gorgeousness. I love everybody. That's all I can say. I just love everybody. And this, okay, so I was talking about her illustrations. I'll show you this one because this pattern is also available for free. But it's not the same pattern. Like, it would not be literally the same one to the other. She's made modifications for the one that's included in Handmade in the UK, I believe, from what I understand from reading. But this is what I mean by her hand-done illustrations. These are so helpful. Designers and patterny type makers of things. I love this so much. Much like I like Instagram versus Twitter. Twitter. I can look at this instantly and be like, oh, okay, I totally dig what's going on. I need to follow chart A, and then I'm going to be doing D and E at the same time as I'm doing C. It just makes so much stinking sense to me. I love it. Just like that one shawl, The Balm to the Soul, where I was like, oh my gosh, this picture is amazing. I love it. It was a graph for the whole chart, for the whole stinking thing. I was like, I didn't read one word of this pattern except how many to cast on. Well, I'm not just reading that, but mostly the same thing. So brilliant and wonderful and good. I love it. It makes me so happy. I love when people are brilliant. They're so brilliant. So I love that. And there are other patterns I've noticed too, like hat pattern. Again, she just loosely drew on like a representation of the stitch pattern so you could see what was supposed to be happening. I love that. Such an easy and elegant way of doing it rather than having to word it out. Do I sound like the dumbest person on earth? Maybe I am. I'm really not, but maybe I am. So this is my hand spun, and of course I had to itch right away. This requires 600 yards, so it'd be perfect for one of the Fat Squirrel Fibers 600 yard MCN skeins. I really debated whether or not I should make a shop sample with that, or obviously I broke down and just used my hand spun. Selfish. So this is my hand spun I just did, like finished last week. I've never gotten enough yardage to do an actual shawl that was like fingering weight. I was so excited. I have about 740 yards of a fingering to sport weight. This is Falkland, dyed by Godiva Yarns. There's 2 colorways applied together. I'm knitting this on US 4s. Everything I'm knitting lately is on 4s. What's up with that? I need more 4s. And I have this much done. Woo! It's amazing! Gosh, I just did it tonight. I had to show you. So there it is thus far. I was a little bit worried about this. You can see, what? That's curling not because of the pattern. It has a garter stitch edge. It is because my yarn is overspun. If you don't know how to tell if your yarn is overspun, and again, overspun by whose standard? I'm not saying that overspun is bad. Okay, I'm not saying that at all. Things like commercial yarns like Peace Fleece and Blue Moon Socks That Rock are overspun, and there's a reason they're overspun. And it works well. I'm not saying overspun. When we say it's like overweight, it means bad. Overweight doesn't mean bad. It just means it's not exactly the middle of the normative road. Okay. I don't know where that one came from. But it is overspun, and this is how you can tell. Bam. See that? A regular yarn will not do that. It will just be happy and lie on itself. So, for example, I hope I'm not wrong. But the Quinson Company. Oh, see, it's a little bit more spun. Yeah, it's got a little they call that energy. There's a little energy in there. So I was concerned, and that makes sense because the Quinson Company makes the stitch patterns really look good. But the common consensus is that for lace yarn, you want them underspun, or at least underplied. And for like errands and like big stitch texture patterns, you want them a little bit overspun, or you know what I mean. Like the overspun will actually accentuate the stitch patterns and whatnot. Oh my gosh, I'm talking so long today. How did this happen? So I was a little bit worried about doing the lace with this because it is a little bit overspun, but I totally dig the way it's looking. Yay! So again, obviously I'm just at the very beginning, but liking it. So there's that. Okay, so that's all for the stuff. Now we'll do shameless self-promotion. If you don't want to stick around, I totally love your face anyway. It's okay. I'll see you next week. If you do want to stick around, here we go. There will be a bag update this Friday, June something. June 8th. Is that right? Friday, June 8th at 9 p.m. Eastern. Friday is the overriding. Okay. No, it must be June 7th because it's the first Friday. Okay, I need to stop talking. So there will be this fabric, which I love. There will be this size, which is the large wedge. Sorry, I couldn't think. This is the large wedge, and they have a gray lining. Just a very basic lining. This is like, I love this this fabric is not, I mean, obviously high Grello. But I really, the texture of this fabric is beautiful. I don't even know how to explain it. It's not brushed and it's not satiny. It's like somewhere in between. Now, if you have a texture issue, it's not like it's velvety or anything. It's not creepy. It's like, it's still smooth. And it doesn't like grab or anything like that. But it just has this really great, I guess it's just very tightly woven, or no, it's not really tightly woven. Oh, is that why it is? It's not perfectly square, the weaving. Like it looks like it's taller than it is wide. Is that it? Does that make a thing happen? Weavers? Is that a thing? If it's like, if it looks like this is bigger than this? Or is that just me being stupid? That's what it looks like. Anyway, it feels great. I love the way it feels. Now, here's my moment of stupidity. Actually, it's been many, many moments of stupidity. I should not have picked a bag with an obvious diagonal. Is that what they call it in sewing? Because we'll have the regular bags like this, and it'll be the normal price. There will also be imperfects. Now, this bag has other stuff in it, but look at that. What? What? See, that diagonal's way off. Now, some of you, the reason I went ahead and did them is because I know some of you just don't, like, it's not, that would not bother you. It would bother me. It does bother me, and they will be offered at a discounted price. But I know it doesn't bother some of you, and I hated to waste this lovely fabric. But, and like, you have stuff in it, it's not gonna like, it's gonna be like this. It's not, you're not gonna be able to tell. But it would drive me crazy. Actually, it would not drive me crazy, but it drives me crazy as the producer of this. Would I buy this? I wouldn't have a problem with that. But as the maker of this, I'm like, oh, I can't believe I did it! Ugh. There must have been some sort of like warp in how the fabric was. stored at the manufacturer or at the third-party seller of fabric. Because it should have not been a problem, but it was. So there will be imperfects and regulars, and there will be the large wedge, and there will be the sweater. And I don't have handles on them yet because I don't have the handles done. But the handles, the sweaters have a white zipper, the wedges have a gray zipper, and again, gray lining. So yay! Yeah. So there you go. Is there going to be yarn this week? I'm not entirely sure. I know, right? I'm telling you, I'm so behind on everything. It's out of control. But I want to focus on bags because I know that's the big one that people want. And I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to do yarn in the summertime with my child around because it's toxic and you have to be very careful and like it has to be like a hazmat situation and it is in my house. And so when I'm home from 8:30 to 4, I can like make sure that's all taken care of before anybody gets back to the house. But with a person running around who loves to help so much, she's such a helper. I don't know how I'm going to do that and be a good person. So there may be a drop off in summer dyeing. We'll see. I haven't decided yet. It's in my head, like 8,000 other things. But there will definitely be bags. And then the mid-month, so then there'll be a third Friday in June. There'll be a third Friday in June update too. And this month, I think will primarily be squirrel-themed bags. Totally. I think the mid-month update will be all squirrel-themed. And that's all. I've talked for longer than I should have. I'm so sorry. I hope you have a lovely week, and I will see you next time.